Welcome to Aligned and Turned On with Nejma. This is a space for women who are done settling for fine or performing their growth and ready to truly lead from their truth and soul's purpose. This is where we have real, unfiltered conversations about what it actually takes to own your truth, to own your power, and to be in your full expression in all areas of your life. So, through these conversations and through the lens of my work with the five-pointed star path, we go beyond the surface level growth and into the kind of self discovery that changes how you show up in everything. So let's dive in. I'm so excited because today we're exploring the third step of the five-pointed star path, which is undress the BS. And I am joined with the beautiful, amazing Becca Ploener. Hi, Becca.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I love Becca. She is a high stakes performance coach for athletes, musicians, leaders, and performers who are weird AF and want life to feel like play regardless of the consequences. She is a sponsored Whitewater athlete, a former world class musician, performing as a soloist for over 20,000 person live audiences. And she's also a low-key nudist, a Capricorn with a lot of Aquarius placements, and she practices celebration like it's her religion. Oh my gosh. And Becca is like a ray of sunlight. I had the chance to meet you in person twice, and I just so love your energy, your authenticity, your presence. So thank you so much for being here today with us.
Aw, thank you.
It's my pleasure. Well, let's dive right in because why
Cool.
not?
Yeah.
What does undressing the BS actually means for you right now in your life?
Mm. I would say it means I feel like it has themes of getting out of our own way, getting out of my own way.
Mm,
And what's showing up, I mean, YOLO, let's go deep right now.
let's do it.
I'm in a pattern of I'm in a sh kind of a winning streak, I feel like, where I'm like there's like a lot of success coming my way. I'm in my biggest income month ever, and I'm
Congrats.
breaking a lot of ceilings. Yeah, which is like amazing on the outside. And it's amazing on the inside too. I mean, it's all great. But like the undressing the BS comes in here because I notice myself immediately like something good's about to happen and my first initial reaction is like it's not gonna happen or something's gonna mess it up or
Mm,
like and
yeah.
so the undressing the BS is like, okay, see through those, like I call them risk sensations in my head, of anything that feels like a threat to my brain and my body, which success and breaking ceilings and doing things I've never done before, making more money than I've ever made before, like welcoming in like leaders of a much higher caliber than I've ever worked with before, like that feels like a threat to my body. And so undressing
Absolutely.
the BS is like, okay, you actually see yourself in your power and like skip the stupid stories that actually have no foundation and are just like my inner mean girl freaking out.
I just love that you mentioned stories because oftentimes an inner mean girl, that's the critical voice that we all have. And so that's what I was going to ask you. Like this story, this, do you see that as a pattern in your life?
Mm. I would definitely say it's a pattern in my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like immediately think of whitewater kayaking, which
Hmm.
is I mentioned or you mentioned in my description, I'm a sponsored whitewater kayaker and my partner is like a whitewater kayaker as well. He races very competitively. And so it's a very big part of my life, just as big as business is in my life. And when you're going down like a big rapid or something, especially something that has consequence, but it didn't matter what the actual consequence was. Like when I was learning how to kayak, I had this pattern as well, where I initially like I see the rapid and I'm like, okay, how could I die in this?
Oh,
Or how could I like
interesting.
get hurt or like how could I mess this rapid up? And so immediately my like I know that pattern in myself is to
Yes.
immediately go to like worst case
Worst
scenario,
case scenario.
how am I gonna screw it up? How could it go wrong? And then it's like I can like make up another story on top of that story of like, oh, I'm doing that because I want to make sure that I can like have all the situations figured out in advance for when or if that happens.
Yes.
Um, yeah, but the
That's
real
so
work
important
is,
what you're saying, because I think one point is layers, right? These Andres de BS, I often call them like layers of conditioning or wounds or past stuff that we kind of like put on top of our true self. And
Mhm,
so stories, limiting beliefs, all that kind of stuff, it's what I call layers. They're old, number one, right?
mhm,
And number two, they keep coming back and it feels like this is new, but the ability to recognize it, but not just that, alchemize it. That's what I'm hearing you say. But what's really cool in what you said too is that there's also a superpower to it,
mhm.
right? It's like that story, that pattern allowed you to maybe plan for plan B, C, D, and seeing where the things are in on your path, really. But then it's like, okay, when am I going to use this as a superpower? And when do I need to undress this layer, undress this story because it's not serving me right now?
Mhm. Yeah, because like at some point, like at the beginning level or at like at first, yeah, sure, I do need to be aware of the consequences, or I
Yeah.
need someone else to tell me what the potential consequences are so that I don't like completely screw myself over. But at a point, I would get I my skills would outweigh the like actual realisticness of me having to face those consequences, or like I would already have all the abilities to resolve those consequences. I don't need to think about that first when I go see a rapid.
Yeah.
And then that would hinder my ability to actually perform in the rapid. And
Yeah.
this is like so integral to all the work that I do with my clients too. But it's because I experience it
Yeah,
too.
you talk about it in Whitewater kayak, but it all applies to how you lead your people, and that's a beautiful metaphor. But I love how
Yeah.
you already identified, you already know, and you probably see that in your clients too. Like there is a superpower to it, but it's also preventing me from actually reaching probably in what you're talking that new ceiling, right? And actually popping up that ceiling and going to the next.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
it's
I mean, the reason why I do this work, the reason why I'm guessing you do your work as well is because I experienced it first and I worked
of
through
course,
it. And then I'm like hyper aware of it, especially in others, because it's so much easier to see things in other people than it is to see it in ourselves. That's like one of the most potent
yeah.
parts of having a coach is like they're outside of you. Like I just cannot I can't see all of my patterns, no matter how self-aware I am. And I'm very self-aware. I'm very
Same. And I heard
Yeah.
this expression recently and I keep using it now. It's you can't read the label from inside the jar.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that was so brilliant. I never heard it before and I'm stealing it, borrowing it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that because your whole brand outside of kayaking is taking risks, right? And the first step in my model, the 5 pointed star path, is own your greatness, which is all about stepping outside of our comfort zone, standing for something bigger than ourselves so we can actually stay in that expansion zone, right? But undress the layer, why it doesn't come first is because we don't want to just stay there in the I need to heal place without taking action. So we want to move first, but then these layers come up. So I'm how in your experience, even with your clients, with yourself, because I feel like sometimes these layers can be a bit sneaky as well. So how does
Mhm.
it show up? How does undressing the BS becomes core, or how do you notice that in your clients and your work?
Yeah. I mean, the first step in my system, or there's a few different layers to my system, but within one of the systems
Yeah.
is the rise method. And this is where we recognize the body sensations. And so I do a lot of somatic based work. All
Cool.
of the stuff that I talk about, like I talk about some pretty intense conversations. Like it sometimes I'm dealing with situations that are literally life or death. Like I just hopped off a
Yeah.
testimonial call with a client whose goal was to run 10-foot waterfalls. We got her on
Wow.
18-foot waterfalls.
Oh my
And this is
goodness.
all virtual. And so she's like, I already have all the skills to do this. Just like her performance quality, like the ability to perform under pressure was the thing that was getting in the way of her actually going and doing it. Um,
Yes.
and so the first step of the system within the system of the rise method is recognizing the the physical sensations that come up in our body
Mm-hmm.
when we feel fear or when we feel like threat or we're like nervous about something. Also,
Yeah.
when we feel like excitement, anticipation, like the positive sides of these two, like anytime we feel activated,
Yeah.
noticing those sensations and being so well aware of those sensations and so okay with being in the discomfort of those situations.
Yes.
And so practicing being okay with being wildly uncomfortable.
That's how you
Better,
expand, right? Or
yeah,
if you just stay in your comfort zone, you're going to be comfortable, right? So by definition, if you step out of it, it's not going to be comfy.
yeah. Yeah, and the better we are at being uncomfortable, the
Yeah.
better, the like the faster you're gonna move through life. Like
And that's how the
I
layers actually show up. I love that because that those sensations, they're like your compass to be like, uh-oh, something's here showing up. And then it brings my awareness to it.
Mhm. Yeah. I was listening to a podcast by Alex Hermosi because I've been
Mm-hmm.
getting my boyfriend into business stuff, and he
Nice.
would vibe more with Alex Hermosi than some of these female entrepreneur woo-woo topics that I love listening to. And Alex was talking about how you've got to be okay with rejection and with
Mm-hmm.
taking risks. And the people who make it really far, really fast are taking the most risks.
Yeah.
And the amount that you are like rewarded, with air quotes, if you're listening, the amount that you're rewarded is proportional to the amount of risk that you're taking on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's works. I was a pharmacist for a decade before I was a Tony Robbins coach and before I built my business. And oftentimes people will ask, like, because you have technicians in the lab that count the meds and help, with the flow of filling the prescription. And they were wondering how come there was such a difference in income. And because the
Mm.
pharmacist is the person who is in charge, that's the level of risk of like if you get sued, if there's a mistake, like if the
It's on you.
technician counts the wrong drug, she might get like a don't do that. But
Mhm.
ultimately, the pharmacist is responsible not only for delivering that, but for the whole staff. So I think that definitely correlates to how it is, like the level of risk you're taking usually will
Mhm.
correlate to how much you're getting. But I'm also curious in your work, since you're so much with like risk and pushing those boundaries, have you noticed certain patterns of layers that tend to show up in your people?
Mm. Patterns of layers that tend to show up in my people.
Mm-hmm. Like patterns of BS, of stories, or is it a safety thing? Is it more rejection? Is it more what am I going to look like? What's
Mhm.
do you feel like is maybe top one, two, three things that show up with those people who are looking to really like be in that zone? Like, I'm not looking to stay comfortable, you know, but
Yeah.
stuff's gonna show up. What
Yeah,
kind of stuff do you notice?
so my people actually typically are already doing the brave things. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not hard for me to like go feel the fear and do it anyway, but there's this
Yeah.
separation. There's like a step that's missing where they feel the fear and they're like, yeah, I'm really good at feeling feeling the fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to like learn how to feel more. Like I got that. I feel plenty. I feel too much, honestly.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, I could feel all those things and just freaking do it anyway.
Yeah.
And so there's that very popular quote of feel the fear and do it anyway, which I've been playing a lot with lately of like, actually, no. I mean, yes, but let's have a step in the middle where it's so possible to feel the fear and then like transfer it into power and then do it
Mhm.
anyway. And that's so then you're not actually taking action when you're feeling the fear super intensely. You're taking
Mhm.
action when you're feeling your power and your energy source.
Mm.
Um and so I think one of the stories that comes up is like, yeah, I feel a lot of fear, I feel a lot of anxiety. That's just how I am. I'm just always gonna feel like
Mm,
overstimulated because especially the people who come into my space, I call us personal growth junkies. Like
yeah,
we have been through therapy already. We've probably been in other like healing programs. Like we've tried to heal a lot. We've
yeah.
like gone through trauma resolution stuff. We know all the
Mm,
lingo, we know all the stuff.
yes.
And you're like, I'm over healing. I'm done. I don't need any more healing. Like it doesn't work or it does work and it's I got it. I've been there, done that. I need
Yeah.
something different.
And
And
do you
so
feel
this
like
is
that
like,
prevents them from progressing?
yeah,
Yeah.
because they get caught in these loops of like seeking safety is what I call it. Like we want to feel
Mm.
safe, we want to feel calm, we want to feel secure, but at the same time they've got this like identity of like I'm just gonna be anxious forever.
I call
And
it,
so they like go against each other.
yeah, there's this like this inner conflict pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you'll connect to that, but I feel like it's there's something that I call the I know that trap.
Mm.
It's
Hmm.
it gets to a point where you know you learn a lot, like just you said, like self-development junkie. And then at some point, even though it's not embodied, even though there's different levels of wisdom that you haven't yet gotten or levels of mastery, it's like, oh, I know that, I know that, I know that, I know that. And I know I found my way
I
in
get that way.
yeah. And then I was like always seeking the new best thing, the new like little like new dopamine hit that'd be like, I call it insight junkie for me, like insight addiction. I just want that new insight because in the beginning, everything's an insight. You're like, whoa, 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 mind blown, mind blown. And then it's
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, it's kind of like that thing. Oh yeah, that other person said that. I know that. I know that. So it's rare that you get to that point. You're like, mind blown. But what I realized for myself, and tell me if that is what you do with your people too, is I forgot to actually deepen the my understanding of the concepts, which people will talk fundamentals of basics. And I
Mm.
forgot to also embody it. So I was just like staying at the level of awareness, always looking for the new best thing. And it's like, well, why am I not embodied? Why is it not working? I feel like I should know
Hmm.
better. The old patterns keep happening.
Hmm. Yeah, that absolutely comes up. The I know it already and then getting caught in the awareness and
Right.
the we're actually not telling the truth when we're stuck in awareness. We're just like
Mm,
intellectualizing everything. So it's not, it's like you're, oh my gosh, she's so aware. He's so like, he knows what he's talking about. But it's like, yeah, he does. You do know what you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about too. And it comes back to that, like, you can't see it while you're inside it.
I love that because that
Yeah.
just came to my mind. It's almost like we're over glorifying awareness
Hmm. You don't actually need to
over
know that much. Like, we
actually.
need to be more.
Yes.
Let's do more. Let's feel like
Mm,
actually feel it, not feel it in a way of like I'm able to say it and describe it and like talk about it and t tell all the stories. Usually people
yeah.
that come to me also I ask how do you feel or like how does it feel or what are the sensations that come up and they give me all these stories and
Mm.
words that describe like experiences that have happened. It's very brain.
And you're like, that's not what I asked. I asked how
Yeah,
you
I'm
feel.
like, how does it feel in terms of sensations in your
Yeah.
body? I don't care if it's good or bad. Like, does it feel
Yes.
tingly? Does it feel sharp? Does it feel like dull and numb? Um,
Mm.
and then we don't even need the story. Like, to some extent, I don't even care what
Yeah.
happened to you. I don't care what your trauma is. I don't care. I care about you, but I don't, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter in this context because it reinforces it if we talk too much about it. But I think what you're
Yeah.
doing is brilliant because you're helping them to bypass the I know that or the
Hmm.
knowing or the awareness into the body, into that felt sensation. And it's super
Hmm.
cool actually because people would think like if you look on the outside and you're like, oh, they're doing all these crazy things like jumping off a freaking waterfall, like they must already be the type of person who don't need, but no, even if they're doing, there's a lot of things still happening, still showing up. So um
Hmm.
that's very interesting to see because sometimes we pedestal other people. We pedestal people that are doing certain things and we feel like, oh, there's no way that I can get there. But actually, we're all still struggling with similar things and layers and BS shows up no matter what.
Mhm. Yeah. And like I don't even really identify my with the word like struggling, but I know you you get it. Yeah.
Right.
But like my work is like not about healing at all. It's like the step after healing. It's like I'm over healing.
Yeah.
Like I will always be healing, and that can be so exhausting and comes with like thoughts of like heaviness and like like I have to fix myself. I have to figure this out. It's just like just keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's actually it gets to be like everything is playful, everything is silly, everything is lighthearted. No, even the heaviest conversations, like we could be having conversations about death and it still gets to be like really lighthearted um and when we take away that heaviness, the density of it,
Yeah.
then we actually access our peak performance because
Mm.
that's why we like mess up on stages or why we like fluster when we're going kayaking and sending it over the waterfall or we like stumble over our words in a sales call. Like
Yeah.
that's why we do it is because we're putting so much pressure on ourselves. So this work is really about how do we like still put ourselves under pressure a lot. We're gonna get uncomfortable, we're gonna take risks, we're gonna be under pressure, but how do we remove the sensation
Yeah.
of pressure or actually kind of get like a little kinky with it of like, yeah, this is the pressure is so good for me and so helpful and why I am succeeding instead of
That's
the
so cool
pressure
because
thinking about
that's
that.
from knowing you, from what I know of you, like this is definitely your superpower. Like bringing the joy and the happiness and the fun, and quirkiness and just like also breaking people's patterns, on how you dress and how you bring things together. It's like,
Yeah.
well, like something that you wouldn't necessarily notice. So definitely making it light. And it sounds like what you're saying also is there's a difference between external pressure, like something that pressures versus feeling pressured.
Hmm.
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's super cool. You bring it also in the context of high performance because just like some examples you were saying is it's even more important when you want to perform at a higher standard because especially I don't know the experience of whitewater kayaking, right? But I'm
It applies to
imagining
business
like
exactly the same.
yeah, but I'm imagining if you make one wrong move, you might die at a
You
certain point.
could. It depending on what,
But
yeah,
what I mean
depending
is
on
like
what
it
level you're
gets
at.
even more important to be like undressed, to actually notice these things and not just like, oh yeah, I know, because you're in a position where all of these little things matter even more in the
Hmm.
moment.
Yeah. And like whitewater kayaking is such a potent example to tell stories through because it can be life or death. But I talk
Mm-hmm.
about three different types of risk. There's
Yeah.
like, there's physical risk, which could be life or death, or it could be injury, or like some of the folks I work with, we've talked about like pushing themselves in their fitness. Like it doesn't have to be like actually life or
Right.
death. It's like I'm scared of like going all the way to failure because I might injure myself in the
Yeah.
weight. So
You
there's
don't have to
physical
jump
risk.
off an airplane, right? It could be like
No,
in the
no, it
gym
doesn't
or
have to be that extreme. I work with yoga practitioners as well. Like it does not have to be.
doing an inversion might be your thing, like the next
Yeah, yeah.
edge. Yeah.
But then there's two other types of risk as well. But when we talk about the life or death, like our perception of regardless of what type of risk it is, our perception is like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like your brain doesn't know the difference between like you sending an email to pitch a retreat idea to someone
Yes.
versus you sending it off a waterfall. Like the responses and perception through our body and our
And
brain are the same.
and also in relationships, now you're mentioning that, like I know I've felt that sometimes, like putting myself like in like a context of sisterhood or speaking up, like sometimes it feels exactly the same. It's like my nervous system doesn't know any better. It does feel like I'm gonna die if I
Yeah.
do it. And then you
Yeah.
do it and you realize you're still alive. And it's like, oh, okay. But that's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the other types of risk, like I feel like I have to say them because I said the first one,
Yeah.
are social and
Yes.
emotional risk,
Cool.
which has to do a lot with relationships and leadership and that kind of
Exactly
thing.
that. Yeah.
And then, so physical, social, emotional, and then financial risk.
Mm.
Yeah, which could be
Yeah.
like signing up for a program. It could be owning a business and like making big investments or
Buying a
hopping on
house.
sales calls.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Buying a house.
Buying a house? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and
Yeah.
so they all, the social and emotional and the financial risks sometimes feel like life or death, but they're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is so powerful what you're doing as work. I love that we had this conversation and how it kind of undress the BS really is part of the thing, but I feel like there's a lot also of owning your greatness in it and it's kind of like this
Oh
merge
yeah.
between the two.
Yeah.
Um, so
So many
if
overlaps.
you who is listening have felt stirred up and something really opened up in you, don't just leave it there. First of all, you can join us in my Align and Turned On private community on Facebook. I'll put the link below. But I'd love to know, Becca, how can people connect with you if they want to know a little bit more about your work?
Yeah. So I'm hosting a free workshop on May 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's a three-part series. And if you're listening to this afterwards, I'll give you guys a special access to the replay.
Nice, nice.
Um, yeah, so it's called Recklessly Regulated. And so it's for folks who are like, I don't actually want safety. Like, I do want safety. I do crave safety and stability and
Yeah.
security, but I actually crave safety so that I can go be like very risky, so that I can do all these brave, bold things that I want to do with my life.
Yes.
And it's all done through play and silliness. So there's three workshops. The first one is called Your Weirdness is the Anti-Venom, and we're talking about
Ooh.
collective change through being weird and unique and silly and goofy, and how just like play and joy is like going to heal the world.
Mhm.
And the second workshop is From Safety Seeking to Siren State Satisfaction. And so this we're going to talk about how to perform under pressure and how to actually take those anxious feelings and the fear
Nice.
sensations and turn them into power. And we'll do some body-based practices around that. And then the last one is the wild embodiment of a safety-oriented, risky baddie. There's a bad word in it.
I gotcha.
Um, safety-oriented, risky baddie. And I'll be sharing my like my brave and blunt somatic tools and my siren state framework and really getting into a lot of the somatic like nitty-gritty stuff in there. So it'll be a really potent 3 days.
Yeah,
I'm
that
so
sounds it.
excited to pour into everyone.
Excellent. And you'll share the link with me and I'll be able to put that in the show notes.
Yes.
And also you have where on social media, what's your handle if people just wanted to drop in your DMs?
Yeah, yeah. So I actually don't have a link. I'm being a little risky bee and I'm practicing being extraordinarily simple with this. So the
Okay,
best
cool.
way to get to get involved in that is to DM me the word reckless. And my Instagram is Wild Woman Becca, or you can find me on Facebook, Becca Ploener. And I also have a Facebook group
Perfect.
called the Group Dare. If you want to come get silly and weird with us, we do things that feel a little scary every day, but they're also like
Amazing.
really playful. Yeah.
Playing scary. I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Becca. Thank you, everybody who's listening as well. We are so appreciative of your attention. We don't take it lightly. And sending you all much love.
Thanks so much for having me.